weather team. I'm 6 News meteorologist Brad Sugden on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Schrock Innovations presents
Nebraska's #1 independent computer repair company.
with offices in Omaha and Lincoln. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with 3 service centers in Nebraska to help you out when you're having computer troubles. We have the original at 27th and Pine Lake Road in Lincoln. In Omaha, 168th and Burke, and then right now in Papillion on the corner of 72nd and Highway 370. We're going to be moving that Papillion Service Center probably late November, early December to 84th and Highway 370. We had our kickoff meeting last week, and the framers are getting into the new bay on Monday. They're having their materials dropped off so that they are ready to rock and roll. Speaking of being ready to rock and roll, 866-496-8772. I'm going to turn the volume down just a little bit on the Facebook feed here. There we go. All right, Mark, let me know how that sounds. All right, so welcome in. By the way, you can listen on Facebook. Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations is where we're broadcasting live this morning. So if you want the video component, now, I'm not saying that, like, I don't have a face for radio. But what I will say is that last week we had some people watching for the first time, and they said, honestly, I'm hooked. Like, watching it, it's weird because it's radio, right? You're supposed to listen to the radio, and then radio personalities never still a lot of them don't understand having a camera in the studio. People will watch the camera, and they're like, hey, I went into radio for a reason, guys. I'm in radio because I have a face for radio. But nevertheless, yeah, you can tell me. Today I'm wearing a purple shirt because last week everyone gave me grief because my shirt looked purple on camera because of the lighting in here. You can see behind me the light is shining right on the KFAB sign. I think somebody re-aimed that so it would be shining on that sign. I don't know if there's a camera in here during the week or something. But when that light is aimed right over my shoulder that way, it makes shirts look weird colors. Like, so today, for example, to be funny, I wore a purple shirt. And it looks kind of brown on the camera. So I'm like, oh my goodness, this is hilarious. All right, the numbers to join us on the program this morning, 866-496-8772. 866-496-8772. Mark says I'm still too loud, so I'm going to turn it down just a little bit more. I can't turn it down too much. We're talking like fractions of a dial turn. Yes, a dial. Analog. All right, so we got a pretty busy show to go over today, guys. Last week, I do the morning blend every week on Mondays, and everybody on the set is an Apple person, and they're saying, Thor, you never talk about Apple stuff. So today, I've got some Apple stuff for you. Yeah, here's your Apple stuff right here. All right, so we've got a new version of Apple operating system coming out. The Apple OS X, the new version is called High Sierra. And High Sierra is going to make some important changes. We're going to talk about that coming up on the program here, how if you have a solid-state hard drive, this could be a game changer for you, and how if you use old software. So, for example, if you bought that copy of Photoshop or InDesign, or maybe you use your Mac for video editing, and you have that Adobe Premiere, the expensive one, High Sierra is the beginning of the end for your old software. So we're going to talk about that coming up on the show. Also, if you're an Apple user, so we have good news, new stuff coming for Apple users, things to watch out for, but overall, good things, all good things. And then bad, scary things. October's coming. And if you're a Safari user, every day is a walk in the graveyard for you, and we're going to tell you about that coming up here on the show as well. Also, we only have about 3 weeks to go before the Schrock Safe upgrade. And so when I tell you Windows 10 Fall Creators Update is coming on October 27th, or excuse me, October 17th. October 17th. You could look at your calendar and say, that's a long way off, And, they do this in retail, too. It's like, Christmas is coming. Yeah, so let's see. How many days? I've seen Christmas is like 3 months from now, right? Or Christmas is like 12 shopping weekends from now. Or Christmas is 12 Saturdays from now. Oh, no, I only have 12 weekends left to get all my Christmas shopping done. And when you say it like that, it kind of creates a sense of urgency, right? Well, you have 3 radio shows after this one until the fall creators update is released by Microsoft. 3. Now, aside from the famine and the pestilence and the locusts and everything else we expect, it's a good update, you know. So it's not just Apple users getting a big update, it's Windows users as well. As we've talked about the previous few weeks, the Fall Creators Update is going to come out. The previous 3 updates that Microsoft has done have thrown people up in arms. And so a lot of you have gone to the website to SchrockInnovations.com and purchased a copy of Schrock Safe Upgrade, which is the software that's going to shepherd your computer through this upgrade process as if it was on our bench. If you ever came in for the Windows 10 upgrade, when we upgraded 1,000+ computers to Windows 10 in like a week and a half, which was, we didn't want to do that again, okay? You didn't want to go without your computer again for that many days, and we didn't want to work that many hours in a week again anytime soon. I think I have more gray hair after than when I started. So we created a piece of software that will do all of the things that our technicians would do in the shop. You know, it's automation, right? Except we're not replacing people with this. We're still going to have people coming in that want theirs done on the bench in the shop. But you can save yourself a little money by getting the Schrock Safe Upgrade. It's $50, and they're available on our website at SchrockInnovations.com. So you can go to SchrockInnovations.com, you click on Shop and Specials, and you can pop it up there. We have 131 of the original 1,000 left in stock. Last week, I think we had 188 when we started the show. So the supplies, as I said in the Facebook post, are beginning to dwindle a bit. But we'll talk about all the details of that on the show as well. In response to this, facing complaints, Microsoft has adopted a kinder, gentler Windows 10 upgrade product. Yeah, see, I just reversed it there. That was pretty sick. I took what was a verbal faux pas and just reversed it. Yeah, a kinder, gentler Windows 10 upgrade pace. So that's good news, right? You know, here we are talking about this big problematic Windows 10 update, and Microsoft, they feel our pain. They love us, the people. They don't want us to fret. They don't. If they're going to send a plague of locusts at us, they want us to make locust stew out of it. You know, let's make this something positive. Facing complaints, Microsoft adopts a kinder, gentler Windows 10 upgrade pace. But guess what? That kinder, gentler pace is what you're experiencing right now, because you know it was all out, pedal to the metal last year. Tires were blowing, people were smashing into the wall, cars were flipping. It was a disaster. Yeah. So the kinder, gentler pace, we're going to talk about that because it's kind of funny. It's a kinder, gentler pace. The same number of cars will flip. The same number of people will hit the wall. The same number of tires will explode on the track. But they won't all happen at the same time, and therefore it makes it really, really hard to identify it's Microsoft's fault. Yeah! 866-496-8772. 1.4 phishing websites are created every month. 1.4 million websites to steal your information are created every month. We're going to kind of go over this with you. One of the reasons I want to talk about this story today is just more to make you aware of the lengths that these bad guys will go through to avoid detection by, you know, not top-of-the-line antivirus software. Because when you whittle out the number of people and the different antiviruses they're running, like we did last week, 2 weeks ago, you find that, you know, the vast majority, half or more of computer users are either running no antivirus software, that's most Mac users, or they're running Windows Defender, which is most PC users, which is not a great way to keep your computer safe, or they're running something they think is good, and it's either not or it's expired and they didn't know it. So I want to make sure we raise some awareness on that as well. All right. In the service centers this week, we are officially exited the summer slowdown, and we are in full swing for the fall speed up. It's all, as a lot of car references today, it's all downhill from here, guys. No. No. Basically, in the summertime, everybody's got something going on. Everybody's got something to do. And as a result, you know, people aren't in front of their computers as much. And when people aren't in front of their computers, number one, they don't break them as much. And number two, if they do break them, they really just don't notice. And so it's a funny thing, for example, people are starting to get back in front of their computers. And some of our customers that had preventative maintenance checkups, we had 2 customers, one in Lincoln, one in the Omaha shop, that had preventative maintenance checkups done in the spring. They didn't do the fall one. That's okay. You know, whatever's best for you. Maybe they were out. Maybe they're snowbirds. I don't know. They weren't here. But they didn't do the fall one. And so they did the spring one, and everything was fine. And then Drive Advisor pops up and says, oh, yeah, your hard drive is bad. And so I get an alert that comes through, and something that occurred to me this week, because I get an alert when a hard drive starts going bad. It tells me who the customer is, it tells me what drive is bad, and it tells me what the percentage of the drive is. That's all I know. I don't get to see anything else. There is nothing else to see. And so I can watch as customers don't respond to the warnings. So let's just say her name was Rita. It really wasn't, but let's just say that. Rita's hard drive, her C drive, has dropped to 98% health from 100. That's effectively a heart attack for a computer. That's a bad sign. That means the hard drive is starting to fail, and we need to replace the drive now. Like, move now. That's what Drive Advisor is supposed to do. Tell you to move right now to replace that hard drive while it's cheap to do it. Because if you wait till it gets down to 50%, or like the one we had in the service center this week that was down at 12%, once it gets down to those really low numbers like that, the drive is failing. So we can't clone it anymore. We may not be able to get all the data off it without sending it to data recovery. That starts at $400, and it goes up from there. Sometimes when people get in the data recovery lab and I tell them, okay, hey, good news, it's $400. And they're like, oh my gosh, are you joking? That's terrible news. And I'm like, I'm sorry, somebody should have told you, I guess, before we got in here that $400 is a blessing in the data recovery lab. Because if we have to take the drive apart, you're looking at $1,200 to $1,800. So getting in and out of here for $400 in the data recovery lab, that's divine intervention. So be happy about that. It's hard to be happy when someone's asking you to spend $400 on something that you didn't plan on spending it on. But I digress. I'm not usually that callous on the phone, but that's what my internal dialogue is saying. You're kidding me, right? I mean, I'm doing everything I can to keep the price at $400 for you, and oh my goodness. So don't get in that spot. Install Drive Advisor on your computer. You can get it for free at driveadvisor.com. Advisor, driveadvisor.com. We had 2 people this week that had Drive Advisor installed that got bad hard drives that I noticed they either had the 2 of them, one had a Hotmail email address and one had a Yahoo email address. And I watched their drives go from 98%. One of them went from 98, then it went down to like 76, and then it went down to 57. So it was rapidly failing, straight downhill track. And they weren't doing anything. And I thought, golly, that's really weird. If somebody's hard drive is failing that badly, you would think they would at least call me or call us concerned and say, hey, I keep getting these weird emails about my hard drive going bad. What's the deal with that? And then it occurred to me, well, maybe they think it's a phishing email, like we're going to talk about here in the show in a little bit. But it's not asking you to do anything. It's not asking you to click the link or reset the password on your Origin account. I got that one again this week. I actually have an Origin account, though. So I looked at that thing and, there must have been a breach of some sort there. We had a confused customer call about that. I don't know what this Origin account thing is, but apparently they reset my password. Will I need to do anything? Oh, no, it's a scam. It's phishing email. So maybe some people thought that the Drive Advisor emails were phishing emails. Okay, because we didn't make it pop up in your face. Maybe we should have. When your drive goes bad, it should pop up in your face and be like, but then it's kind of like an advertising thing. And the whole point of Drive Advisor is there's no revenue model to it. This is about protecting our customers. That's been kind of our mantra this year, protect your customer. When my guys look at your computer and see that you don't have Drive Advisor, they want you to have Drive Advisor because they're protecting their customer. They want you to have endpoint antivirus, as we're going to talk about later in the show, because they're protecting our customer. They want you, if you have a modular computer and your warranty is expired, they will beg you to extend the warranty because it's silly not to. Because if you don't use the warranty, we give you your money back. And if you need the warranty, you are so glad you have it. Why on earth do we do that? The people who come in and I get these business guys that come in and they tell us what we're doing right and what we can improve on, basically. It's kind of like a fresh set of eyes. And they're like, you're doing your job too well. Your business is too reliant on new customers. Your business, once you get a customer in and their antivirus is sorted out and they've got Drive Advisor and they've got Secure Updater and they do their preventative maintenance, we notice those customers don't have expensive repair jobs. There's no virus removals. There's no, cataclysmic, power supply failures. I mean, things go bad still, but nowhere near at the pace that a standard everyday customer, one of the low people that don't take care of their stuff blows up all the time. So, maybe you're doing too good of a job. And we respond, that's what we're here to do. Because every other computer repair shop in town is doing the barest minimum they can possibly do to get that good review and get the customer out the door and get check in the bank. Yes, you're a business. You need to have good reviews. Please, if you have a moment to give us a five-star review on Google, it means the world to us. I won't go into all the details here, but you can listen to the Aftershock here on Facebook, and I'll tell you what's going on with that. But reviews mean the world to us. Number one, because it's a feel good for my guys. Because once in a while, like we have a laptop on the bench in the shop right now. He brought it in for a maintenance check. If we checked everything out, we put some new memory in it. We sent it back out the door. And when we sent it back out the door with the new memory upgrade in it, it worked fine on the bench. We did the burn-in test. There was no problems with this laptop. And it went out the door, and the customer got it home. And I'm not sure if it was the first time he turned it on or subsequently after that. At some point, within 24 hours, it started to blue screen on him. And something about security software or something, and it was blue screening. And so we're like, oh, my gosh, that's terrible. And the customer was really upset. He said that we didn't value his time or his gas. Because he had to bring it back in because there was nothing we can do about a blue screen remotely. We can't Schrock desk in because the computer doesn't stay booted. So it's got to come back in. And the logical thing to think of here is, well, we just put memory in it. The memory that we put in must have failed. And so it's kind of our fault, right? We get the computer in and we're testing the memory, and the first test, it comes back great. The second test, it comes back bad. We're like, okay, this is weird. Then we decide, okay, we're going to stress test it overnight. So we get it all set up and we start the stress test. And the next morning when one of my employees comes in, he says, wow, this thing's really hot. Well, yeah, it's been stress testing all night. We've been like pushing it to the limit, trying to get it to fail all night. And it didn't, by the way, of course. And so then the customer called right away that morning, and he was like, what's going on? And he goes, well, your computer's awful hot. I think your cooling system is bad. No, it's not the cooling. That's like saying, you just drove from Lincoln to Omaha, and your tailpipe is warm, so your radiator must be bad. No, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's venting heat. And so we're like, no, golly. So this is one of those situations where anything that could have gone wrong in the communication chain has gone wrong. And I'm sure this customer is completely beside himself right now. So at any rate, we're going to deal with that. But, people make mistakes. Things happen. I get it. But with Drive Advisor, the point of Drive Advisor is to tell you that your computer has a problem before it becomes a cataclysmic problem, to give you the help that you need before you normally would know that you need it. Especially, for example, if your computer is under a warranty. We had a customer drop off a Dell laptop in the Omaha Service Center. It was under original Dell factory warranty. And she was upset because she has a Square Trade warranty on it, and Square Trade has a deductible, and she didn't want to pay the deductible because she wasn't sure it was worth it. And, we did a warranty check for her and said, hey, this is under warranty with Dell. Like, Dell. Would you like us to send it to Dell? We don't charge for that. We'll send it off to Dell for you. And then she was convinced there had to be some kind of trick. She was a new customer. The reason we're so reliant on new customers is we have to find new people to protect. Because once we get them within once we get them into the fenced-off area, sounds like a FEMA camp. I shouldn't use that reference. Once we get you in, you're never going to get out. That's right. And if you do, you'll regret it. You'll regret it bad. No, once we get people protected, once we have their main concerns taken care of, sure, there's a few things that pop up from here and there. You're going to get a blue screen from time to time. Our power supply is going to fail. You're going to get a fall creators update that could jack up your whole computer. Stuff happens. But the big stuff doesn't happen to you. That's the difference. When you have a warranty on your computer and your hard drive goes out, that's a bummer, but it's not a $300 bummer. Or if you have a solid state, it's not a $500 bummer. That's the difference. So basically, when we give you a call about an extended warranty, when you get that robocall, we're going to send one more. Again, I've got people whose warranties are expiring this month, and we send out the robocall saying, hey, your warranty is expiring. Number one, call us back because we might owe you money. That's literally what the message says. Call us back. We may owe you money. And I get like 4 calls back out of 100. And I know everybody always calls you about your stupid used car warranties and things like that, and everyone just hangs up on them. This isn't that. We're really calling you back to give you money. Seriously, like no joke. Like, yeah, I pick up the phone. We're trying to give you money, or we're trying to get you to use the money that we owe you to flip your warranty to another year so you still have a warranty going forward. So when we call, do answer those phones, please. 866-496-8772. Got to take the first break of the program. When we come back, we got Jim coming up here first on the program, his call, and then we're going to jump in. Bill Gates, this is a fun story. Bill Gates, does he have any regrets? You will laugh at Bill Gates, the creator of Microsoft, the inventor of the Windows operating system, or the driving guy behind it anyway, has one regret. He regrets the three-finger salute. And we're going to tell you about that coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovations can't teleport technicians to you, but online help is only a click away with the Schrock Desk. Subscribe today and get unlimited help whenever you need it. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute This Pro Tip 299. There are enough mothballed computers in U.S. homes to give one to every man, woman, and child in the country. Many of these computers find their way into landfills where they can leak cadmium, lithium, and other nasty chemicals into the groundwater. Schrock Innovations is very proud of the fact that we recycle more e-waste every year than we create. You can drop off any old or broken computer equipment to our service centers at any time, free of cost. We only charge $15 just for monitors because they are especially difficult to process. No appointment is required, and we accept all computer-related equipment like printers, keyboards, speakers, and accessories. Additionally, the rare earth elements in computers can be recycled right here in the U.S. to reduce our reliance on supplies from foreign countries. Take a moment, drop off your old computer equipment today, and Schrock will make sure it's properly recycled and put to good use right here in the U.S. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, and Papillion, where we can fix your computers. We can recover data from your failed hard drives. If you need a website done for your business or your organization, please do reach out to us. Time is running out on this. We're looking for some portfolio pieces for our new Schrock Interactive website that's coming out here soon. If you look at SchrockInteractive.com, it's kind of a joke right now. It was great like 6 years ago. Maybe 7 years, 8 years ago. But now it's definitely needs some improvement. So we got a new website we're going to be pushing out, but we want some good portfolio pieces for it. We got a few different, we have about 3 or 4 people who took advantage of this offer. Literally, it's like 75% off of web design is what it amounts to. And you can check that out. Actually, the easiest way, there's no place to check it out, actually. You can't check it out. But the best thing to do is shoot me an email if you're interested, or you can call one of the service centers and they'll track me down. Email address is Thor, Thor, at SchrockInnovations.com. 866-496-8772. And Jim, you're the first caller of the program today. How can I help you on Compute This?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
This about the microphone to get Cortana up.
Yeah.
Do you have to click on that microphone icon every time you use it?
Yes, or you can activate the Cortana can be voice activated where you say, hey, Cortana. I just said that out loud. Uh-oh. I'm watching all the screens around me like around the world. Computers universally just responded, bloom, like they did during the Super Bowl when they were doing the Hey Google commercial. And the Hey Echo or something like that, and it was like people's houses started going crazy. But anyway, you can click on the microphone, or if you want to, you can set it up so that you can use the voice activated feature to do that instead. Are you in front of your computer right now?
Yes.
Okay. So if you let's see here, show the search box, blah 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 blah. I'm looking for the option because of course they moved it. But yeah, if you right click on that search bar there, you'll get an option to go into Cortana and change the voice activation settings so that it'll automatically pop up there for you.
Yeah. Where is that icon to click on?
Well, if let me see here. I haven't done it in so long. If you right-click down in the where you see where at the bottom where it says "Type here to search," and
Yes.
if you click in there, it pops up and gives you the whole rigmarole about hey, I'm Cortana, I do all this stuff and that stuff. Let's see.
That's the right click?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, they come up.
Gotcha. All right, and bear with me just a second here. I'm going to get the specific instructions because it can vary based on what version of Windows you're on. Okay, so hold on. I think I might have told you wrong. I think I told you to right click. I think you need to left click. But let me go through it on mine here, because let me see. I'm going to left click on my Cortana. If you haven't activated Cortana, you'll have to follow the steps that appear to turn it on. Okay, you already did that. Boy, this is different. Okay, hang on the line here, and I'm going to get you some specific instructions on this because it depends on which version of Windows 10 you're running. If you have the original version, there's one way to do it. If you have the anniversary update, there's another way to do it. If you have the Spring Creators update, there's a third way to do it. But I will go ahead, hang on the line, and during the next break here, I will get that for you, Jim, so that we can tell you exactly how to turn on Cortana's voice activation. All right, so 866-496-8772. In the meantime, if anyone else out there has the same question, I've gone ahead and posted the instructions on how to do this with Cortana on the Facebook page at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, 866-496-8772. That gets Jim in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate as well. Right now, his odds of winning are very, very good, as being the only caller. All right, so Bill Gates, he said, they asked him, do you have any regrets? You know, it's been a long road, Bill. Do you have any regrets? Once again, Bill Gates says he blames IBM for creating the Control-Alt-Delete command instead of having one button to do the job. Control-Alt-Delete is affectionately referred to in the PC world as the three-fingered salute. Now, you Mac users out there, you don't have a three-fingered salute. You have a spinning beach ball, but you have no three-fingered salute, you know? So yeah, he says that Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates says if he could go back in time, there'd be something more intuitive than the two-handed Control-Alt-Delete command. I never thought about that. What if you're like an amputee and you don't have two? You can Control-Alt-Delete with one hand. I've done it before. I mean, it's definitely like a Spider-Man shooting a web kind of hand motion, but you can do it. Gates made his remarks about the command at the Bloomberg Business Forum. As he did some years ago, Gates pinned the blame on IBM engineers responsible for the IBM PC keyboard at the time. Grinning, he answered, the IBM PC hardware keyboard only had one way that it could get a guaranteed interrupt generated. So clearly the people involved, they should have put another key on it to make that work. A lot of machines these days do have that as a more obvious function. Oh, an interrupt. Okay, I'm like a Control-Alt-Delete is a single key. I've never seen that before, Mr. Gates. Maybe he's got some like cool Bill Gates keyboard, but my keyboard, I just have, ye old layman's keyboard, the same thing that everybody else uses, and I have to do a three-fingered Spider-Man shooting salute thing. But it was the three-finger salute was created by David Bradley, who intended it to be a shortcut for rebooting an IBM PC. So here's the thing, guys. When you're playing Trivial Pursuit and the science and technology, I believe that's the orange category. No, is that sports? I don't remember. But you pull the card. I haven't played that in years. You pull the card out, and they say, who is the inventor of the three-fingered salute, also known as Control-Alt-Delete? You could say, who is David Bradley? Bam. And you'll win the game. You'll get your slice of pie. Delicious. 866-496-8772. Those are the numbers to join us on the program today. All right, Apple users, you complain that I ignore you sometimes. It's not that I ignore you. It's just that I don't use Macs every day. I use them about every other day. So I use PCs more, but we do use Macs too. So for you Mac users out there, stay tuned through the break here. We've got important news about the new Mac OS High Sierra, and even more importantly, what's going to happen after High Sierra. Also, if you're a Safari browser user, we got some news there for you as well, why you should immediately discontinue using that browser because it's junk. It's kind of like Safari is Apple's Internet Explorer, except not quite that bad. All right, 866-496-8772. More of the program coming up next on Compute This.
If you can dream it, Schrock Interactive's website developers can make it happen. Refresh your website, automate sales and marketing, and grow your business today with Schrock Interactive. Every person listening to this broadcast has either experienced data loss or knows someone who has. When you think about it, you have a lot more data stored in many more places than you'd like to admit. Have you downloaded those videos from your phone, backed up the pictures on your iPad, or even tackled that sometimes daunting task of backing up your entire computer's hard drive? Most people just don't back up their stuff, and that's why Schrock Innovations has one of the most advanced data recovery centers in the Midwest. Equipped with the latest DDI data imaging devices, state-of-the-art custom recovery software, and Omaha's best data recovery technicians, Schrock Innovations has a 96.8% success rate when recovering data from damaged hard drives, flash drives, camera cards, and more. We all know we should back up our data, but if you are ever caught in a data loss nightmare, call the experts at Schrock Innovations to get your data back right where it belongs, safe and backed up on a stable hard drive.
Compute this pro tip 843. Of all computer failures, the scariest and most expensive is the hard drive. But there are some steps you can take to save money and save your data before it's too late. Detecting failures early is important, so install a free utility like Drive Advisor from driveadvisor.com to monitor your hard drive's health and receive warnings when there's a problem. But most of all, hard drive failures happen slowly, so early detection is key to reducing the repair bill. Second, if your hard drive makes any unusual noises, immediately turn off your computer and do not turn it on again. These issues are physical problems, and the more you try to use it, the worse the damage becomes. Remember that most computer repair shops do not have the specialized equipment needed to recover data from a failed drive. Never open your drive or allow anyone else to do so. Opened drives always cost more to recover. Schrock does not charge for data recovery evaluations and quotes, so let the local pros look at your drive before you make any recovery decisions. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
The president versus the players. Excuse me, that was supposed to be LeBron James speaking to the Sports Network Uninterrupted after President Trump said NBA star Stephen Curry was no longer invited to the White House. LeBron James calling President Trump a bum in a tweet overnight, and now this morning, the president reiterating a call to owners to fire or suspend professional athletes who protest during the national anthem. President Trump also tweeting a warning to North Korean leaders after U.S. bombers flew an exercise mission with South Korea along the coastline. Another suspected acid attack, this time in London. One man in custody for throwing a noxious substance on several people. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security telling law enforcement to be on the lookout here in the U.S. for similar attacks. Angela Merkel casting her ballot for herself, presumably. She's expected to win a fourth term as chancellor in today's German elections. Brad Milkey, ABC News.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Near record heat possible for this afternoon as temperatures climb to near 90, and we'll have winds moving out of the south that could gust up to 35 miles per hour at times. Rain showers roll through for that evening hour, becoming more widespread overnight. Showers and thunder showers possible for most of the day on Monday. With Omaha's most accurate weather team, I'm 6 News meteorologist Peter Sherwood on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
All right, guys, welcome back into Compute This. Fun stuff happening at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. The correct answer is, thank you, Mark, the Trivial Pursuit colors that we're looking for is green for science and technology. Orange is sports and leisure. Oh, gee, I wonder why I said sports and leisure. 866-496-8772. Back into the phone. Steve, you're the next caller on the program. How can I help you today on Compute This, Steve?
Hey, so I have a Surface Pro 3 running, I don't know what version of Windows 10, actually.
Okay.
But in the last month or two, I've been getting periodically I've been getting a driver power failure, and I have to reboot the machine to get everything working again.
Okay.
This morning when I booted it up, or when I tried to boot it up, I got and I've been searching for the updates for the drivers, and they all appear to be completely updated.
Yeah, there's usually not a driver update.
So what do I do next?
Okay, so a power state failure usually has either something to do with the AC adapter, the battery, or the settings if it was a computer, in the computer's BIOS about how it manages the power, when it puts things to sleep, how long before they go to sleep, things like that. Because yours is a tablet, it's still technically a computer, but it's different. It's the same and it's different. You don't go into the BIOS of your tablet and mess around. It's just automatically locked down. So the things that I would suggest that we do to try to troubleshoot this in the first place, obviously the AC adapter, is the unit charging and discharging properly, like it's lasting the appropriate time on battery?
Yeah, it seems to be. I've had it for about a year, maybe just a little under 2 years now. I think I got it Christmas 2 years ago. So.
Okay, gotcha. So, but when you're using it on the power cord, it doesn't have any weird, like, just turns off or anything like that? And the battery?
It hasn't. Well, yeah, usually it happens like I'll use it overnight. I'll be reading or something on it, and then I'll just close it. And like this morning when I opened it up again, it just kind of went wonders on me. And that one actually came up with the wireless adapter drive is not working. And so I checked it, and it's fine. I reboot the machine, and everything's fine.
Yeah, we had similar things happen on our Windows 10 tablets on the first prototype design that we had, where you would try to put the thing to sleep, or you would just hit the power button, and it wouldn't actually either put the Wi-Fi to sleep, so it would just drain the battery like stupid fast while the screen was off, or it would not allow the Wi-Fi to wake up after the tablet was resumed. And so as a result, then it would kind of come back up, and there was no internet. And so we had that problem for a while. We did get around it through a driver update on our end, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily the solution on your end here. What this basically means is there's something with the tablet that is not sleeping or waking as it's supposed to. Now, one of the things people sometimes don't understand about Windows tablets is they require updates just like any other laptop or desktop or anything else. And as a result, you may not have the most recent updates for Windows on your tablet, because when you turn it off, it puts the Wi-Fi to sleep. So literally, like with your computer, some people take months and months and months to get the updates. Like we have some customers coming into the service center that still don't have the Spring Creators update. Heck, we had a guy last week who didn't have the Anniversary update. That's been a year and a half. We're like, do you just use your computer and turn it off? And he says, yeah.
Yeah, so I use this thing virtually every day. I mean, it's my everyday machine.
Right.
And so it's on pretty much all the time. I'm on the internet a lot. I guess I assume, maybe that's a bad thing to do, that all of the Windows updates were there.
It will. It'll download the Windows updates as it can. So it may be. I'm stabbing in the dark here because I don't have the unit in front of me. But the first thing that I would check is if the power system is okay. And we know the drivers are okay. You don't want to mess with the drivers for your Surface tablet because Microsoft made those drivers basically. And if they're, for heaven's sake, if there was an update to the Microsoft driver, you would get it through Windows Update. And so through Microsoft Update, it would come through. And
I assume that's what happened because everyone I've checked it says it's up to date and working properly.
Gotcha. And I'm seeing other people are having the same problem here. There's a post here from 2015. Try to boot in safe mode, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and see, nobody has.
Yeah, I did go out and look at those, and you know how those work.
Yeah, nobody has a clear answer here. I'm looking through these.
Yeah, you're more confused than you were before you started.
Yep. So basically, the answer, if I had it in the service center, what we would do in the shop is we would get it on the bench and we would look at the event viewer. And you can look at the event viewer too. If you right click on your Windows icon in the lower left hand corner. And you can just click on Event Viewer, and we'd look through the system logs on the Event Viewer to see if there were any critical problems. And we would see what's failing, what's the critical problem that's failing. And if it is the Wi-Fi adapter every time, we might delete the Wi-Fi adapter and then restart the computer and allow Windows to reinstall it so that we get a fresh copy of all the drivers and everything, just in case there was a corruption or some kind of a glitch. We're going to go through and do those basic things first, because once you know all the hardware is good, once the storage is good, once the memory is good, and the AC adapter and the battery are both good, at that point, it's got to be something software related. And so we would go through that process in the software. Now, one of the other things, and I have to ask this, have you ever had any kind of preventative maintenance done on the tablet at all?
No, not really. So
okay.
I go through it and periodically purge things and clean it out and run its diagnostics, and everything seems to be fine. But in terms of bringing it in somewhere, which is my next question, I'm sure your answer will be, yeah, bring it in. But
it's one of the things, it's a tablet. So there's fewer things that can go wrong than there are with a laptop. In many of the Windows Surface tablets, there's no fans. Some of them there are, but most of them there aren't. We've had a few that came in, and if the screen is cracked or something, Microsoft made them very, very unrepairable. So there's if something is broken, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. But on the other hand, detecting the tablet is failing before it absolutely fails, because that's the other problem. There's no removable storage in that tablet. So if the tablet dies, everything that's in it is lost. It's like a total data recovery. So it's really, really, really important if you have a Windows tablet like a Surface or something, or even one of ours, that if you have important files on it, that you keep a backup somewhere. It's more critical for you than it is for most other computer users. It's essential. And so one of the things I would suggest, we normally tell a computer user once every 6 months for their computer, get it into the shop. We try to put things on sale every 6 months to make it a little more bearable for people, financially. But on a tablet, you could probably get away with once a year. But it wouldn't be a bad idea, especially while you're having this problem. Have you ever been into one of our shops before, Steve?
No, I'm not. We're fairly new to Omaha. We just moved in right after the first of the year. So.
Oh, well, welcome to town. It's good to have you, Steve.
We're from the area originally, but I'm walking the dog now. I listen to you every Sunday. So.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you again. Yeah. No, well, here's the thing. If you've never been to our shop before, we have a coupon that's a first hour of labor free for new customers. Like the business analyst said, we're always like super hungry for new customers. So we even give them like $100 free for coming in the door. So you get your first hour of labor is free. So if you brought that Surface tablet in, what we could do is we could go through the event viewer for you in that hour and see if we can isolate the problem. And if it's something simple like deleting and reinstalling a driver or something, we can do that for you on the bench in that initial free hour of labor. So, you can always go through it if you'd like, but if you want someone else to do it, you can bring it into us for that hour of labor. We always do the basic stuff. We always check the memory. We always check the storage. We're going to, if it does have a fan, we're going to blow out the fan vents and stuff like that. Those are just standard operating procedure things that we always do. And as a result, although we did have one computer last week where I won't say who, but some slovenly computer shop owner was in such a rush to get something back to somebody that he forgot to blow out the fan. And that was the one computer that came back with bad memory. And I'm like, seriously?
That's always the case.
My guys looked at me and they're like, you didn't blow the fan out, Thor? Come on. Come on, you rookie. I'm like, I was just trying to help. They're like, back to your hole. But
it sounds like I probably should bring this thing in before October 17th, the infamous day, right?
Well, you're going to get that same update that everybody else is going to get. You can use the Schrock Safe upgrade just like everybody else. If you were going to try to time it so that we could do that while it's on the bench, you'd want to bring it in after October 17th.
But this won't mess up that Microsoft download then, or the update.
Most people are not going to get the update. Remember, there's a kinder, gentler update schedule now. We're going to talk about that coming up next.
That's right.
But it's not going to come out for most people on the immediate day. Of course, if you're counting on that, you'll be the one guy who gets it first. But most people aren't going to see that update until days, weeks, months after the 17th. So that's why we want to get everybody on the 17th to run their safe upgrade so that we can make sure that everybody's got it done. And if anyone's going to have problems, we can work them through the system right away, as opposed to waiting and having the problems pop up kind of randomly over time. But yep. So Steve, if you can get that into us, we'll get you in under that new customer coupon for the first hour of labor. You just have to mention that when you come in. Please don't forget to mention it. We have a little sign on the counter that's like, mention any coupons or discounts. And that's what it's there for. So say, hey, I'm a new customer. I want to get that first hour of labor free to take a look at this. They'll put it in for you, and then we'll have you hopefully fixed up and running again within that first hour.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think I'll probably try to time that. Can I set an appointment in advance? Like, can I call Monday and set one up for the 17th?
We don't really do appointments, and the reason for that is because we don't know how long it's going to take to fix your computer or your tablet or the person in front of you. And so if we give you an appointment and the guy in front of you takes longer than we expect, then it's like you're sitting at the Genius Bar. Yeah, Apple users. You're sitting at the Genius Bar and, you're just waiting, sitting around. On the other hand, we do have 40 bench spots in the Omaha Service Center. We've got 20 in the Papillion Service Center, and we have like another 25 in the Lincoln Service Center. So most of the time, we're good to go. Of course, this is going to be one of those times where we're going to have a lot of influx of people coming in, which is why we're trying to push people to the Schrock Safe upgrade option rather than bringing it into the shop. But I still know there are some people who are just not comfortable buying things online who, even if it costs $20, $30 more, want to come into the shop and have it done in the shop by a human technician rather than doing it themselves at home. So whichever one you're.
Sounds like my best option is to bring it in sooner rather than later and then purchase the online updater.
Yeah, that'd probably be the best because, a lot of people are going to try to. Thank you for the call, Steve. I appreciate it. And welcome to the program. Thanks for listening in every week. And I hope your dog's doing good. Sounded like you were moving at a pretty good clip there. But no, in the shop, we're going to have people who come in on the 17th. And then we're going to have the people who are too smart by half that drop off on the 16th. And the people who drop off on the 17th are going to be mad at the people who drop in on the 16th because they're going to be first. But they won't be first because we'll have some people who are going out of town, you see. And so they'll drop theirs off on the 12th. And that's usually how it starts. And so, and it's not like we can work ahead because the update doesn't come out till the 17th. 866-496-8772. Let's take our final break now, and then I'm going to get to these Apple stories because I've been promising those. And then we'll tell everybody, if you don't know what's going on with the Schrock Safe upgrade, we'll kind of tell you what's going on with it. But stay tuned. More information and fun coming up next on Compute This.
Drive Advisor is a free program from Schrock Innovations that monitors your hard drive's health and tells you if it's going bad. Download it for free at driveadvisor.com. External hard drives are handy. You can back up multiple computers to them or even use them to move lots of data from one computer to another. Computer users have been buying the same old external hard drives for years. While our computers have been getting faster, we still do backups that take hours or watch epic progress bars creep by to move files. Schrock wanted more for our customers, so our innovators created the fastest external hard drives on the planet. Schrock modular storage devices are up to 50% faster than Seagate or Western Digital externals and are modular in the truest sense of the word. We can create whatever size and speed of drive you need for all of your needs, and all modular storage devices come with a data restoration guarantee. If you use our drives for backing up and your computer's hard drive fails, we'll restore your backup to your repaired computer for free. Fast, simple, and flexible technology solutions from Schrock Innovations. It's what we do. Compute This Pro Tip 578. Technology is constantly changing, so how can you tell when the time has come to recycle your old outdated computer and invest in a new one? Experts have rules of thumb and formulas, but Schrock believes the answer is simple. You should replace your old computer when it can no longer do the things you need in a secure way. For example, you should not be using operating systems like Windows XP or Vista because they're no longer maintained by Microsoft and they're not secure. And if your computer cannot run Windows 10, it's probably time to begin saving for a replacement. If your existing computer requires a repair and that cost is 50% or more of the cost of a new computer, it might be time to consider a replacement. But keep in mind, additional costs like data transfers and important software you have to upgrade like genealogy software or Quicken. And also keep in mind that modern computers are engineered to last 18 months for a normal user. And don't worry, you are considered a normal user. Schrock modular PCs and solid-state laptops are specifically designed to last 4 to 6 years for that same normal user, saving your family money and time. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back in. Final segment of Compute This, 866-496-8772. We have a two-person horse race for the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. We'll be awarding that here at the end of the program. All right, so I've been talking about Mac users here, and I promised you guys some red meat, so here it is. OS 10 High Sierra is coming out tomorrow, mañana. It's coming out tomorrow, and you will be able to upgrade your Macs to it. Everything will be great. The world will be fun. There are some important changes. If your Mac has a solid-state hard drive, High Sierra will actually introduce a new file system called the APFS. I'm guessing that stands for Apple File System, instead of the HFS file system you have now. If you have a rotating disk, or as they're starting to call them now, if you have a mechanical hard drive, doesn't that just sound terrible? Like, you know, you're banging with hammers and screws. Like, you have a mechanical hard drive as opposed to my solid-state hard drive. When I hear solid-state, I think of like that transistor radio that my grandma had in her drawer, and on the front, like bold as day, it said solid-state because it didn't have a tube. You know, it was a tiny little solid-state transistor radio. It had a transistor, you see. Well, if you have a solid-state hard drive, you're going to get the new file system, the APFS. And if you do not have the new file system, if you have a mechanical hard drive, you won't get the new file system, but you'll still be able to run High Sierra. Here's the thing. The next update after this is setting the stage for something that's going to be happening within the next year. The next Apple operating system that comes out will drop all support for 32-bit programs. What does that mean? Any old Apple software, anything you bought, I can't say anything, but for the vast majority of people, anything you bought, 4 years ago or further back is going to be 32-bit. And it will not run on any Apple computer running the latest, not this new one that's coming out tomorrow, but the next one after that. They're going to drop all support for all 32-bit applications. And what we have is a lot of creative people use Macs. They have a lot of software that is very, very expensive because you buy it once, like Adobe Premiere. You buy it one time for like, whatever, $800 or whatever, and then you use it for a long, long time. If you have old versions of Photoshop 7 or Photoshop, CS that you're still using, those are not going to work on the new Macs. Probably not this generation, but the next gen that comes out probably won't work anymore. You have to buy the new software or subscribe to the new software, which is the cool thing now, the micropayments, which is for Adobe aren't so micro. It's like $50 a month. That's not a micropayment, Adobe. I know it seems like a micropayment in the face of thousands of dollars of software costs, but no, $50 is not a micropayment. So heads up there, Apple users. Good stuff coming down the pipe in that OS, but you're going to see an OS update headed your way tomorrow. I would recommend, given Apple's penchant for releasing software and then very quickly after that releasing patches for that software, Apple designs great products. They really do. And Apple software has a history of being notoriously buggy when it's first released because it's pushed they push so hard to get it out the door. You might not want to grab that update on the first day tomorrow. Just saying. Give it 24 hours, okay? Give it 24 hours. Take a look at Twitter, see what's going on, see if anybody's like freaking out about stuff, and then decide if you want to do it. Just trust me on that one. Give it 24 hours. All right. Also, big development in the iPhone world. The iPhone 8 came out to okay, there was a picture of a store in China, and they had the cattle fencing thing set up, for the queue line set up, and they had 4 security guards at the front door just in case people got in fights over the new iPhone 8, and 2 people showed up to buy it. They had more guards than customers that showed up in China. And it wasn't just China. Singapore, in New York, there was a line of about 20 people, but it was nothing like what we'd seen before. Like, there was reporters that showed up at Apple stores, and they were the only person there. And they were like, there's nobody here. So, yeah, interesting things. So there's some people that are wondering, well, have we reached peak smartphone, Or could it be possibly because the iPhone X is coming out next, like in like another few weeks, and the iPhone X is like the megaphone to end all megaphones. Oh, megaphones, that's pretty funny. Or it could be that people don't line up around the block to buy a $1,200 phone. That's what it costs. That could be it. So there's that. Now also, browser testing. Security browser testing. Have you ever wondered what browser is the safest? These guys trade back and forth. It's kind of like listening to advertisements from cell phone companies. They always like, oh, I'm the best. You're the best only in Kansas City. Yeah, well, I'm within 1% of your network, so why do I have to pay 20% more to be within 1%? Answer me that, Mr. V. And hey, I used to be with Verizon. Now, can you hear me now? I'm with Sprint. I wear yellow sweatshirts and turtlenecks all the time. What is this guy? So this is like that, okay? Or like if you ever go to the movies, I'm so sick of the stupid Chevy commercials. Oh, that's not our car. Oh yeah, I'm really a valet, and you're not an actor. But hey, wow, this car is amazing. I always wondered what actors would say when they're paid to talk about cars. But nevertheless, Google did something called Project Zero, where it's called fuzzing the browser. And a fuzzed browser is a browser where you send a whole bunch of like garbage commands to it to see if you can crash it, if you can find a vulnerability. But unfortunately, it takes so much computing power to fuzz a browser for testing, looking for a vulnerability, that Google had to like distribute that over like thousands of computers. So they did, because whatever. And so as a result, what they found was Google's Chrome browser, surprise, surprise, in Google's own testing, came out the best with only 2 bugs. 2 bugs, that's it. Mozilla Firefox came out with 4 bugs and an asterisk, but they never tell you what the asterisk is. Microsoft's Internet Explorer came out with 4 bugs. Okay, Internet Explorer hasn't been patched in years, so that kind of sends my antennae up a little bit. Microsoft Edge had 6 bugs. So the one that's currently competing with Chrome had 6 bugs. But Apple Safari had 17 bugs. 17 times they crashed it. So with that said, Project Zero said most browsers did relatively well in tests, but Apple's Safari is a clear outlier. So if you're using the Safari, if you're an Apple user, you've known Safari's junk for years. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know here. But then again, if you have an iPhone, you don't realize you're using Safari every time you get on the internet. You know you can install Firefox on your iPhone, or Google Chrome for that matter. 866-496-8772. Facing complaints, Microsoft adopts a kindler it's kindler and gentler update schedule. Now, facing complaints, let me read now, folks. Follow the bouncing ball. Facing complaints, Microsoft adopts a kinder, gentler Windows 10 upgrade pace. As Windows 10 enters its third year, can you believe it's already been 3 years? Microsoft has slowed its pace for delivering feature updates, and that's a big change from the first 2 years, and Windows users are seeing the payoff. What this whole story is about is Microsoft, when the new versions of Windows came out, they pushed them out onto every computer that they had. They tested it on as many as they could, but then they just pushed it out to everybody. Now what they're doing is they're if you have like a Dell, if you have an HP, if you have any major brand computer that has a hardware set that Microsoft can test against, they're going to test against those first. Then once those are tested, they're going to push the updates out to those people. You guys will get the update first. Then people who don't have, like our Asus computers that are modified, so they don't match Microsoft's configuration model because they have a solid-state drive all of a sudden, they're going to get it last because Microsoft is going to wait as long as they can to test and test and test before they send it out. And the result is the same number of problems, in theory a few less, but the same number of problems, but they're just distributed over a period of time rather than all hitting at the same time and creating big, nasty black headlines for Microsoft. So the bottom line is, guys, the Schrock Safe upgrade software is available on our website at SchrockInnovations.com. Remember, you need one copy for every computer you want to update. This is just like bringing them into the shop and putting them on the bench. We need one. You'll get charged for every computer we update. We need one copy of this for every computer you want to update. There's 129 of them left with about 3 weeks to go. So you can check it out, SchrockInnovations.com. Click on Shop, click on Specials. Does everything our technicians would do on the bench to get your computer ready for the update, then installs the update, and then gives you a warranty in case something goes wrong. You're going to be able to get it fixed for free over at Schrock. Today's winner is Steve. Congratulations, Steve. You got yourself a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Kathy will get a hold of you on Monday and get you that certificate. Don't miss us on Monday on the Omaha Morning Blend. They're all Mac users. Maybe we'll talk Mac stuff. Yeah, we'll do a Mac segment. See, I don't, it's not that I don't love you guys, you know. So we'll do that on Monday, and then be here next Sunday, for another edition of Compute This.
This is Nebraska's news, weather, and traffic station. This is News Radio 1110, KFAB, Omaha.
From ABC News, I'm Brad Milkey. The first NFL game of the day about to kick off in London, the first since...
Actually, Saturday and Sunday, this show re-airs in Lincoln on Saturdays. So if you see the Facebook post about, hey, Thor's going on the air, that's actually the show you just heard rebroadcast next week. And so I try to stay away from references to Husker games and weather and days of the week, for example. Or one thing I was on the treadmill the other day and I was listening to the show because you want to listen to your own shows once in a while because you realize stupid things you said or things you got wrong, like gentler. A kindler, gentler, kinder. You don't hear those things when you're talking, and then later you hear them. Well, I didn't realize I was saying, hey, we're open on Sunday from noon to 5 and Saturday, so we're open today, guys, from noon to 5. And then that would air on Saturday in Lincoln when we're open from 10 to 8. Yeah, so like stupid things like that you don't even think of. But it's good to always listen to that stuff. So this is your opportunity. If you have any questions for us, this is the After Schrock. You can throw some questions up on Facebook, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Back for After Schrock. Yep, sorry. I had a mouthful of marbles at the end of the show. I was like, whoa, Saturday, Sunday. I wanted to talk about Aftershock, but instead I was saying days of the week. I was like, if it ends with a Y, we'll see you then. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions, we continue here. I'm trying to see if there's anything that we did not cover that I wanted to get to today. We got the fuzzing story. We got Bill Gates in. 1.4 million phishing websites are created every month, and here's who the scammers are pretending to be. This is from ZDNet. Criminals are replacing phishing websites every few hours to avoid detection, thus allowing them to scam more victims out of their personal data. Cyber criminals create an average of 1.4 million phishing websites every month with fake pages designed to mimic the companies they're spoofing and then replacing them within hours to ensure they're not detected. So basically, I'm getting these emails that my Origin account password has been reset, and it urges me to click a link to go reset my password. And that link is not a real link to a real Origin account. So I'll go to, if you click the link, it'll take you to a page that looks just like the Origin website, but it's not. Then you put in your username and your password, that what you want your password to be, and it says, can't take that password. So you put in a different password, can't take that password. And eventually you give it like 5 or 6 passwords, and it's building up your password database, basically. And then it can go to it'll go to Gmail, it'll go to Facebook, it'll go to all these major sites and try those username password combinations to see if maybe they can get in. According to WebRoot's statistics for the first half of 2017, it's nice to see that WebRoot's actually doing something productive because they're certainly not protecting people's computers. Google was the most common company for attackers to impersonate, accounting for 35% of all phishing attempts. So if you get an email from Google asking you to click a link to go back to Google, never click the link. Just go back to Google and see if there's something going on there, because you'll see it there when you try to log in. Also, Chase, Dropbox, PayPal, and Facebook are the other most popular ones. Attackers commonly claim to be from Apple, Yahoo, Wells Fargo, Citibank, and Adobe. So bottom line, when you get an email from somebody, don't trust the link. Even if it's one that I sent, don't trust the link, because anybody can impersonate me too. I'm not a big enough fish yet that I worry about it. I don't think people are masquerading as me because, honestly, they may as well masquerade as Bill Gates. They probably get further, So if I send you an email that says, hey, Schrock Safe Upgrade, there's only like 12 copies left. You better go get one if you want one. You don't have to click the link. You can go to SchrockInnovations.com and you can see what I'm saying is real. Then you're protecting yourself. When you get an email with a link, it's sadly to the point where you just can't trust the links in the email. So if you get an email that says your PayPal account is limited, log into PayPal and see if there's something going on. Don't click the link. If you get a thing about there's been some suspicious activity on your Google account, don't click the link. Go to your Google account page and log in. Go log into Gmail and see if it says anything about suspicious activity. It will if there's a problem. So those are just some points and safe things there to keep you safe on the computer. All right, I'm not seeing any questions, guys. So if you have any questions, now is the time to post them. You can post them, of course, right now on the Facebook page. I keep wanting to say facebook.com/SchrockInnovations like I'm still on the radio. But obviously, if you're listening to me on Facebook, we're on facebook.com/SchrockInnovations. So that's not a real big, it doesn't work. But let's see, here we go. Oh, master of all things digital. Seriously, Thomas? I'm a dedicated PC user and a huge Droid guy. My daughter's grandmother bought her an iPad. Grr. What are some good parental control and monitoring apps? All right. So here's the thing. My wife loves Apple products for the kids because she can lock that stuff down. My son has an iPhone, but it is so locked down. The browser icon is like nested in a folder, in the settings folder. I mean, it's buried sub-level deep in the phone. I can't even find the darn thing. So he can't get on the internet. He has no browser, right? She has control of the iTunes account, so he can't install apps without her permission. So anytime he wants, hey, there's a new Madden app and it's free, and can I have it on the phone? She has to take the phone and put the code in and do everything like that. The text messaging, sometimes Apple gets confused and will share her text messages with my son's phone, which, husband and wife text messages getting shared with the kids can be problematic, but you'll get to see the kids' text messages. So you can look at that stuff. So Apple's got their stuff together for the most part. Now, on the other hand, Android in the Lollipop Forward has some really super nice parental control set up there as well. So as far as the parental control features, the nice thing about it is through some magic in the iTunes account, you can link the kid's iPad to the iTunes account so that the parents can log into the iTunes account and see like text messaging history. You can see download usage history. You can see what apps they're installing. You can lock it down as much as you want to lock it down. The Android parental controls offer things like screen time limitation, where it will actually shut the device off. It'll shut the screen off after a certain time at night. Apple's devices don't do that. That's a Droid thing. So you still can have the high ground with Droid. You can still say, hey, Droid's parental controls are better, but it's a lot harder to lock down an Android device to the point where it doesn't hurt, or a kid can't get themselves into trouble, put it that way. My son figured out, though, if he opens up the MathFacts flashcard app, because he's homeschooled, that he can tap on the Get More Flashcards link, and it takes you to their website to buy more flashcards for his app, and then he can type in a new address in the browser window. So yeah, that was good. He also figured out a way to get to YouTube through that through an app as well. So yeah, you can't keep them in the walled garden forever, but you can sure try to make it a little bit safer. All right, updates on the holiday special. All right, Stephanie. Yeah, we actually we are still waiting on the Dell unit. I emailed him on Friday. I'm like, Logan, my Dell rep, if you're watching this, Logan, where's my laptop? We're almost into October here, and we got to make a decision like now. So hopefully we'll get the 2 Dell units that we're evaluating, and then the desktop. We actually we have one person who was in kind of a bind and really wanted a holiday special. And normally we don't sell them early, but we do need to make a prototype. Now, normally we make the prototype, and then after we test it and everything is great, the prototype becomes a display model. And then what's one of the 3 display models for the service centers, or it goes out for photography or something like that. We use it for other things. This time we're going to send that unit out with a customer. So we'll actually have, when we launch the holiday special sale, we'll have one customer who has agreed already to come on the radio and tell us what his thoughts about the new holiday special desktop are. Now, here's the thing. Every year we sell, it's been getting more and more weighted as time has gone on. We've sold more laptops than we do desktops because people want the laptop. They want the portability, and they're powerful. They're so powerful now. But this year, the desktops are an absolute quantum leap over and above anything we have ever built before. This is the first time in like 6 years I've been able to come to you with something other than an incremental upgrade. Before it's been kind of like the Apple iPhone thing, where the upgrade has been enough to get like a couple people to come to the door and a trickle of people. But it's not like, when we did the 2001 holiday special, where we had the first flat panel monitor, where we had the first, 1 terabyte of RAM, or 1 gigabyte of RAM. 1 terabyte of RAM would be phenomenal. 1 gig of RAM. That was in 2001. That was unheard of. We were the first place in town to offer Windows XP at the time. So it was pretty phenomenal. We sold like hundreds of them because it was just a quantum leap. That's what this is. This is a quantum leap above and beyond. We're still working out some of the smaller details. For example, I want a 4K monitor with the holiday special this year. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get it in under budget, so we might have to go down to a 3K monitor. I put a 3K monitor next to a 4K monitor, and I can't optically tell the difference between the two. That's your $10 word for the day today. If you're playing Trivial Pursuit or Scrabble, if you're playing Scrabble, optically. I couldn't optically tell it apart with my eyes because they were the resolution is so phenomenal. But the new Ryzen processors are going to absolutely, they crush everything out there. Just phenomenal. They beat the pants off Intel chips. They are 6 times faster than last year's holiday special. 6 times. It's new memory, DDR4 memory, faster solid state hard drives, faster wireless cards. We had the same debate we have every year. Do we put a DVD drive in it? We're probably going to put a DVD drive in it this year. I don't know how many more years we'll keep doing that, but, people like it, so we'll put it in. People get mad when they get home, and it's like, where's my DVD drive? And you're like, what are you going to do with it? I don't know, but I want it. And you're like, okay, fine, we'll get you a DVD drive. Let's get off the ledge, buddy, All right, let's see. So, the sale price, $14.99 for the holiday special. When it comes out, both the laptop and the desktop model. We usually release them in late October because people get really grinchy if we start talking about the holidays before Halloween. People get upset about it. Like, well, one time, all right, so I'm going on vacation over Thanksgiving. I will be gone for 10 days. There will not be a Facebook show that day because I won't be here, okay? I thought about I could record one, and I could like Facebook Live it, like play the recorded show, but Facebook frowns upon recorded live broadcasts. Imagine that. But basically, if that week when I'm gone, you were to come into the service center, when I get back after Thanksgiving, it's obviously like 3 weeks till Christmas, right? By the time I get back, 10 days gone, I'm gone. I leave on Thanksgiving, gone for 10 days, 3 weeks left till Christmas. It doesn't make much sense to decorate the service centers for Christmas because the lovely Kimberly does all the decorating. She's got all the scratches up and down her forearms from sticking her arms in the tree and fluffing those metal tree branches on the fake tree or whatever. So it doesn't make any sense to decorate the trees when we get back. We need to decorate them before we go, which means we're decorating them before Thanksgiving. Because she's got to do not 1 tree, not 2 trees, not 3 trees, but then she's got to do the tree at home too. By the time we get home, we're like just throwing the ornaments at the tree. We're like, I don't care. But this year we decided we should do ours first so that we're not burnt out on it by the time we get to it. But so we're going to do 4 trees, but they're all going to be up before Thanksgiving. And so we had customers come in and get kind of gritchy about it. Like, it's not even Thanksgiving and you're pushing Christmas. You retail sons of biscuits, I should buy from Amazon, you know. Well, Amazon's got a Christmas rotator up, okay? Don't you see the holly around the trim? They're sneaking it in on you. For us, it's a logistics thing. And so one year we tried the winter tree thing. Like, it's not a Christmas tree, it's a winter tree. And yeah, they customers called BS on that one. It was pretty lame. Well, we try not to upset people because it didn't have a star. That's the difference between a winter tree and a Christmas tree. So like, after Thanksgiving, whoop, now it's a Christmas tree. Yay! Go Jesus. Yeah, it doesn't quite work that way. All right. The new holiday special makes my custom-built gaming machine look like an abacus. Granted, I built it 3 years ago. Well, I can't argue with that, Thomas. I was like, I wanted to say something to make you feel better. Yeah, think about the guys who bought a holiday special last year. I mean, this is the thing. With computers, you're either in or you're out. I got an email about all new 8th generation Intel processors coming soon. There's no hurrah behind that, guys. The new 8th gen processors are really no better than the 7th gen Intel processors. They're a little more energy efficient. That's all. And Intel got caught completely flat-footed by AMD. AMD has always been Intel's red-headed rotten stepchild. In fact, AMD chips are built in Intel factories. AMD leases factory production capability from Intel to make their chips. So when you buy an AMD processor, it's like Intel gets a nickel anyway. So whatever. AMD is always behind. Their chips historically have always run a little bit warmer and a little bit slower than Intel chips, but they make up for it on the price, and that's why and the upgradability. That's why we use them in our modular computers, because we can put a bigger fan on it and the heat problem is gone, done, fixed, right? And a little bit slower, I'm sorry, but it's the whole Verizon commercial thing all over again, or the Verizon guy in the Sprint commercial. Would you really pay 5% more for a 1% network difference? No, 50% more. That's what, 50% more for a 1% network difference? No, you wouldn't. So yeah, buy Sprint. Yay, look at my yellow turtleneck. It's kind of like that. I mean, the processor is half the price. I mean, an Intel processor, an i5 processor from Intel is like a $400 processor. The mid-range processor from AMD is like $80. And you're not going to notice the difference between them when you're computing on casual computing. If you're doing something that's a little more aggressive, which most of our customers don't do, then you might notice it, but you're not going to notice it. So when it comes down to it now, the Ryzen chips are more efficient than Intel chip. They're more energy efficient. They're not as hot. In fact, if we put the same big cooler, that same modular design that we do, we put the big cooler on there, guess what happens? The chip runs faster because it's cooler. The cooler you keep it, the faster it runs. Wow. So the stock speed, you're telling me the speed that I get out of the box is with the stupid base model cooler on it. If I take the stupid base model cooler off and I put a high-end cooler on it, it'll run cooler and faster? Wow. Do you know that every Ryzen chip, there's all kinds of different chips that they have all the way from the budget end all the way up to the expensive side. All the chips are exactly identical. They're just tweaked. Kind of like the Tesla batteries. Did you hear about that? During the in Florida, when the hurricane was coming, Tesla sent an unlock software command to all their Teslas that unlocked the full capacity of the battery. Because what Tesla found was, when you buy a Tesla, you can buy like the 60 kilowatt battery or the 70 kilowatt battery or the 90 kilowatt battery. And the 90 kilowatt battery is like $5,000 more than the 60, but it gives you like double the mileage almost. But guess what? It's cheaper for Tesla to make just one battery and then limit it by software. So you're getting the 90 kilowatt battery in every vehicle, but the software is restricting it down based on what you paid for. So how long is it going to be till somebody unlocks that bad boy? Just saying. It's a Tesla, though. I don't know if I want to mess with my Tesla. But basically, to get people the range they needed to get out of Florida, because the gas stations were all closed and the power was going out, they unlocked all the batteries so that everybody could use the full 90 kilowatt capacity. So it was an interesting, nice little thing. Same thing with the Ryzen chips. They'd make a software tweak to the chip, and the Ryzen 3 becomes a Ryzen 5, and the Ryzen 5 becomes a Ryzen 7, and a Ryzen 7 becomes a Threadripper, whatever. So it's pretty fun stuff. But these new Ryzen chips are literally redefining the game. For those of you who are Apple users, you'll be pleased to know that the guy who designed the new AMD processor was an engineer employed by Apple, and AMD worked with Apple, who agreed to let him go for 6 months. 6 months of this man's brain power completely rewrote the way that modern computers will have processors. Talk about making a difference in the world. Holy cow. This guy in 6 months completely re-engineered the processor. And all of a sudden, people who have Intel chips realize they're paying $200, $300, $400 per chip for the Intel brand, where these AMD chips are just as effective, they're just as stable, in fact, they're faster, and they cost half as much. What have you done for me lately, Intel? So then Intel comes out and announces, guess what? Oh, wow, we were lowering our prices on all of our processors. Gee, thanks. Now that there's something better to buy, you're going to lower your price now? Well, you had all that margin before. You could have lowered the price before, but you just chose not to because you didn't have to. They're not inspiring a lot of brand loyalty. And that's really the only thing Intel has is their brand loyalty. So there are some rumors that Apple may be going away from Intel processors in their Macs soon. I think they're going to actually go to a processor that they're engineering themselves. But the guy that designed the Ryzen chip is the same guy that they'll probably be designing Apple's processors. That tells you anything. So he was only gone for 6 months, though. All right, Epson Stylus printer. Will my Epson Stylus printer work after the Fall Creator Update? Great question, Alice. We won't know until the Fall Creators Update comes. Yeah, that's a bummer. We were talking about this in the shop the other day. It's terrible for software companies right now because you do Windows 10 compatibility testing. It used to be you do Windows XP compatibility testing. We're compatible with XP. Good. Whoa, Windows Vista, we're compatible with Vista. Windows 7, we're compatible with 7. Windows 10, we're compatible with 10. New version of 10. Third version of 10. Fourth version of 10. Are we compatible with those? We don't know. So unfortunately, there's no way to know if that's it. It should be, Jill or Alice, it should be compatible, but there's no way to know for sure until after it's done. Which is why I would suggest you get the Schrock Safe upgrade. This is the kind of stuff that if that doesn't work, we'll get on the Schrock desk and try to help make it work. So if we can make it work, we will. But if it's not compatible, it's not compatible. It also will depend on how old your Epson Stylus printer is. If it was originally designed for Windows XP, it's probably time for a new printer. All righty. I went all Intel, but yeah, I'm going to start doing VR, so I think the Ryzen is the way to go. Well, yeah, Thomas, you can always buy the new the Intel i9 processor. The i9 is incredibly expensive and stupid because it's basically a souped-up i7. So let's see. Thomas, right there with you. I spent over $2,000 on an Octobish, and I'm really looking at building another AMD PC. Yeah, Jonathan, a lot of people are in the same boat right now. So holiday special will be coming out here in about a month. So we're going to get through the Windows upgrade thing, the Fall Creators Update first. After that, we'll start talking holiday special a little bit more intensely. All right, I got to run. My son's having a sleepover, and they're starting to wake up over there, and they want donuts. So first world problems, right? All right, guys, thanks for joining us on the show. Have a great afternoon. We'll talk to you again next week.